Hey, good morning. This is Corky Alexander coming to you from Hamilton, Alabama. And I thought I would do a video today on blues books, books about the blues. Uh, this August, I began teaching music in the middle school here in Marion County, Alabama. And the unit that we're in there right now is blues music. So I was kind of inspired by another YouTube instructor who shared some books, and I said, "Well, certainly I have books to share." Uh, I've heard people say over the years about me. They say that when you first start listening to Corky, you think, well, they might not have a lot going on, but then when they get to talking, they find out that I'm much more read, much more studied and prepared than I come off like. Uh, that's kind of intentional because I believe in common talk for common people, plain talk for plain folks. So I tend not to flaunt my educational uh, experience, but been teaching college and graduate school since 2006 online, and some on campus, and now I'm teaching on campus. I teach intercultural studies because my doctorate degree is in intercultural studies. I spent 15 years on and off the Indian reservations in North America, so I have that interest, and I have the ability to teach on intercultural uh, studies. So when it comes to the blues, we're talking about world music. Um, for those of you who are interested, uh, when I teach music, I'm pretty much teaching ethnomusicology, which is a field, the study of music in different cultures. And so I am very, very fond of, and I follow after Smithsonian Folkways. It's the independent label um, in Washington, D.C. that that promotes and empowers music from different cultures. And they have a festival every year, I think in June, July, in Washington, D.C. on the mall. And if Trump doesn't disassemble the mall before this coming June, there'll be a Smithsonian Folklife Festival there. And I have been to one of those. So this is the arena that we're talking about, is that blues is a genre of music that is particularly related to African Americans uh, and has been assimilating European Americans and other cultures into the blues world since the early 1900s. Okay, so let's get right to the books. If you're going to read a book about the blues, and I've been doing blues tours of Memphis and the Delta for a number of years, I want to recommend, first of all, this book, The Land Where the Blues Began by Alan Lomax. Okay, Alan Lomax and his father were musicologists affiliated with the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. Alan Lomax had a tape recorder in his trunk of his car, and he went throughout the South, Southeast, other countries, Haiti, across the United States, Appalachia, so forth, recording indigenous music. And so all of that is in the Library of Congress. There's a archive of recorded music by Alan Lomax, and Alan Lomax was a brilliant man. So I recommend, it's kind of a thick book, but the land where the blues began. And we're talking about the land where the blues began. We're talking about Memphis, down Highway 61 into the Mississippi Delta. We're talking about moving east, Indianola, Greenwood, Mississippi, Greenville, Mississippi, Avalon, Mississippi, moving east and over into what's called the Mississippi Hill Country, Holly Springs, that area, Oxford, Mississippi over there, that's called the Hill Country. And that's a different type of blues. And so the region is very close to where we are right now. Like when I do tours, and I'm going to be doing a Memphis tour in October, it's just 2 hours north to Memphis. I'm so happy to be living so close. It's my favorite city in the world. And before you say, well, it's the most dangerous city in the United States, let me point out that Rick Steves, a great travel writer, said that the most transformative travel locations in the world are the most dangerous, and they are the places that our government warns us against going to. So anyway, for what that's worth. So Alan Lomax, great book. On country blues, charters, this is the, most of the time, the key text to the early country blues. African Americans played blues on acoustic guitar first until they migrated to Chicago and Detroit, went to work in the car factories, and were able to buy amps and horns and organs and drums and things. So the country blues, particularly of the Delta, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, this is a great book, The Country Blues by Charters. Now, one of the issues that you get when you study blues history that's very popular is the subject of Robert Johnson, which is a mystery. It's a lot of mythical dimensions in American blues history. This is Peter Guralnick. Now, those of you who are familiar with Southern writers, you already know that Guralnick wrote a number of great biographies, Jerry Lee Lewis and Sam Phillips, and actually Bragg is the one who's done, I think, the most significant one on Jerry Lee Lewis, but Guralnick has done Elvis Presley, Sam Phillips, he's done W.C. Handy, the father of the blues, who's from Florence, Alabama. Sam Phillips is also from Florence, Alabama, which is just up the road, 45 minutes from here. Really glad to be able to go up there around Muscle Shoals and all that. So this book is Searching for Robert Johnson. So the mythical nature of American blues history, very important. Those of you who know about the history, European history, and the Roman Catholic Church know that different popes take on different names, and those names are symbolic of a type of authority or ordination or anointing, like the name John or Paul. These are names that carry significance in the theological world. Well, it's similar in blues history that you will find different blues men who utilize the same name. And there will be mythical stories about their demise and things that happen in their life. And I think there's 3 Sonny Boy Williamsons in the history of the blues in Mississippi. And Sonny Boy Williamson 2 is the one that we're most familiar with, toured with the Yardbirds and with Eric Clapton and so forth. Robert Johnson's iconic story about his encounter with the devil on the crossroads of Highway 61, where it crosses Highway 49, where he made a deal with the devil to be able to play guitar, and the mythical role of Robert Johnson in blues history. And that crossroads, by the way, is in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I go there several times a year. So you might want to read this Growling book. It's not very big, okay? Now, for these tours, I have discovered a book. Now, when you go to Mississippi to the welcome centers, you will be able to get a brochure on the Mississippi Blues Trails. I'm looking for one right now. Maybe I don't have one here, okay. But Mississippi is great in the fact that they have these blue historical markers on the Mississippi Blues Trail, and to honor and pay tribute to the great blues pioneers. But this book stands out of all the travel books that take you down through the Delta. If you want to learn about it, is a great book. It's called Blues Traveling, the Holy Site of Delta Blues, and it's written by Steve Chesebro. And this is a great book. This is the new edition of it, and it'll take you through Greenville, Vicksburg, Hollandale, Belzoni, Indianola, Leland being the home of Johnny Edgar Winter for a while. You know, Greenwood, the Mid-Delta. This covers the whole thing. Clarksdale, Tutwiler, all in places. And this is a great travel book. As you can see, I've got a lot of notes stuck in here. When I do my Memphis tour, on Sunday morning, we go to Al Green's church. And Al Green always high fives my tour people. And so there's just a lot of music history in the Delta. Now, finally, I want to recommend a couple of books. And, you know, some of these blues books can be kind of, you know, profane, but that's just the nature of the beast. Stanley Booth, Red, Hot, and Blues. Stanley Booth. Now, way back when, I'm going to say late 80s, I read this book, Rhythm Oil, A Journey Through the Music of the American South by Stanley Booth, and I fell in love with this book. The chapters are stories about the blues men, some rhythm and blues, some soul, you know, some of Stax in Memphis. It's a very Memphis-centric book. Stanley Booth lives in Memphis. And so I recommend this book, Rhythm Oil. You're going to really enjoy it because it captures the mythology, captures the culture of the Mississippi Delta and Memphis. So Stanley Booth, one of my favorite writers. So these are some blues books I wanted to recommend to you. I'm out here in my Christmas shed. And if you ever get a hankering to do a tour, you know, just message me at the bottom of the video or whatever. And y'all have a great day. See you.